Hello and welcome to another month of the Single Cask Club. I'm Guy, we're here at the Strongwater Co, 78 High Street in Banchory. As always, hello to our existing members and hello to our new members, quite a few of you this month, so it's great to see. Before we get started, for those of you who can come to either shop, make sure you take advantage of our Springbank tasting that we have coming up in August during the Victoria Week in Ballater. We've got one here in Banchory and one here in Ballater, as I just said, on the 13th and the 14th of August. So make sure you head to our website, make sure you take advantage of your discount from the membership. That will give you 10% off the tasting as well. Hopefully we will have some lovely Springbank to try on the night, and we're going to have Melanie from Springbank coming up to talk us through them all as well. In the next few weeks, we're going to have a new release from the shop, which is a release that I've been working on behind the kind of doors, or behind closed doors, which is just an absolute drama whiskey. Is what I've been working on, which is cool. It's a blend. It's a minimum age 10-year-old. The oldest thing's in its 44, so pretty cool, super sessionable, very fun label. So keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. That's going to be rip the cork off and get into it wherever you are. This month we've got two releases from Signatory. So this is from the Monuments of Scotland range. So when I first saw these, I tried them first of all before I saw them, and I thought the liquid quality on them was fantastic for what they are. And then the packaging is actually quite fun. So we've got one that celebrates St Andrew's Cathedrals and one that celebrates the Tom Levine Stone Circle just outside Tarland. So these are great. So we're going to get into it with dram number one. So the first one, it's not something we have a lot of in the club, is an Auchentoshan. So Auchentoshan, take it out, it's probably very loud against my microphone. And a lovely, real fun bottle. Look at the colour on that, absolutely glorious. In a lovely kind of decantery bottle as well. So Auchentoshan on the banks of the Clyde was founded in 1817 is when it first started getting going. And it was called Duntoctor Distillery then, built by a chap called John Bullock. Like all distilleries, like every distillery gets open and then lots of people have a shot at owning it. None of them do particularly well. It all has lots of different guises. And then during one of these stages, during the Glasgow Blitz in 1941, one of the warehouses was bombed, and this sent flaming whiskey kind of flooding into the Clyde. And that crater where the bomb was dropped at Auchentoshan, or the Auchie, as people would locally know it as, the crater is now the distillery pond at the distillery, which is quite fun as well. Quite unusual triple distilled whiskey. Kind of the heads are carried forward and the final cut's at 81%. It gives a shorter fermentation, kind of 50-hour fermentation. So when we go to talk about stuff that's 160 hours or like really long stuff, this is a very short fermentation, triple distilled, so we're creating a very light and delicate spirit. So we'd think probably not going to suit a big sherry cask. This I think is fantastic, and I think this is an interesting way, I've thought about this, of spirit differences. Very similar casks these two whiskies both use, but the difference between a light spirit and a heavy spirit, I think this is a cool kind of time of that. So this is a 13-year-old Auchentoshan. This was distilled on the 16th of April 2013 and bottled in April this year. At 13 years old, it's been finished in refill Oloroso sherry butts. There was 4 of them went into this, bottled at 50.8%, and it's non-chill filter, natural colour, all the right things that we always look in whiskey. So here's a dram I've been doing my notes with. As I said already, glorious colour. On the nose, when I first got into this, it was just like opening a jar of Marancisco cherries. It's got that licoricey kind of sweety, icing sugary kind of note. But then also I thought there was this sake with a kind of savoury note of that. Sometimes seen as a polite way of describing alcohol. But then behind that there's this kind of leathery, kind of natural oakiness that you get from that fresh Oloroso. Oloroso can be described as like a funky, nutty, real kind of earthy style of spirit. Well, not spirit, style of sherry, and I think that really is apparent in this dram. On the palate, we'll have a dram. Cheers. more cherry straight away, and then it comes straight into this oak, kind of gentle rolling spice, which is, yeah, kind of builds nicely. You get more licorice. It becomes almost cinnamony, a touch of clove in there as well. Coming back, I think you really get the lighter cereal notes. This is where I think this is interesting, because you get those cereal notes. You get the kind of yuzu citrusy style notes in there as well. It's a lemon rind. There's a touch of bitterness to it there too. And then from there, the finish, I would say, is medium to kind of long. It has that lemony bitterness. It bites down the side of the tongue, but then it comes back to more caramel, as we'd expect from Oloroso. And then the cherry licorice kind of element appears again. I think from when I first wrote the tasting notes, I'd say the finish is medium, but I would say I'd give this a little bit longer actually now as it develops. And I think it's, yeah, something fantastic, as we'd imagine. There's tannin, vanilla, and just a real leatheriness at the back of it. So, yeah, that's Dram 1 for this month, which is the Auchentoshan 13 from the Monuments of Scotland. So enjoy that one, and we shall get to Dram number 2. So, Dram number 2. This is from another distillery that used to be triple distilled as well, which is another thing that I think is very interesting. So this is from Ben Rinnes up in Speyside. Sits in the shadow of the Ben, kind of right in the middle of Speyside. Lots of stuff. It's kind of the big poignant hill. If you've been up to Speyside, you know where we are. Big poignant hill right in the middle there. Started 1826 is where it started. They've had a flood, they've had a fire, they've had lots of ownership. They've been owned by Dewars, and now they're finally owned by Diageo. Always been a malt that's in demand because of its willingness to work in blends. It's a big, malty, kind of sulfurousy, heavy spirit that works incredibly well with blends. Takes a lot of cask influence and goes well like that. Yeah, used to use a triple distillation method. Then in 2007, they stopped. They used to have 3 sets of stills that they worked like that, and then in 2007 they stopped, and now they just work in tandems. So yeah, and then they use a fermentation that's double the length of Auchentoshan, so we're getting a lot more meatiness out of that as well. Loves sherry wood. So this one is an 11-year-old. This was distilled on the 22nd of April 2015, and this is again first fill Oloroso sherry. So everyone seems to love sherry. So here we are, yes again. Next month we should be sure to have to do first fill bourbon and things like that. So this is, yeah, first fill sherry finish, Oloroso, 50.8%, natural colour, non-chill filter, bottled in April as well, as the same as the Auchentoshan. So this is bottled as an 11-year-old. And this label depicts, as I said earlier, the town of Edenstone Circle. I find it at Steens near Darland. Lovely. So yeah, as you can see, maybe see that on the label. Right, a lovely stone circle between both the shops. So here we have, as we're going to imagine, we're going to have lots more malt on the nose, which I think we get straight away. It's fuller, it's leatherier, it's burnt butter, it's tablet, it's caramel, it's milk chocolatey. There's this raisin kind of malty backbone to it that's fruit loafy. It's got that sweetness to it, as you'd imagine as well. There's more toastiness. It's like freshly baked kind of rye bread. And then I think there's almost like this is the sherry influence. There's like this manchego cheese, kind of creamy, real savoury element that's just, I think, absolutely ripping you in. That's just says, oh, come on, please drink me. That was theatrical, that was, wasn't it? Yeah, and it's wanting you in there. It's got this, yeah, creamy sweetness to it that's just absolutely urging you into the glass. So we'll have a crack. As you'd imagine, the palate is fuller. It's got lots more dark chocolate. It's got more of that rye, toasted rye. It's licoricey, it's leathery, it's oaky and spicy. There's Mm. Really dark chocolatey, really lovely. It's got that salinity that kind of bites in there as well. But it softens, it then goes to kind of a bit more floral, a bit more kind of dried apricots, and kind of, yeah, other dried fruits. It's almost peachy, it's almost dried apricots, but then fresh peachy. It's got a brightness around there. The finish is much longer, it's much more drawn out. It becomes much more kind of cocoa nib rather than where we were with the Auchentoshan. It then is kind of almost a bit of candied ginger on the end, and just sticky toffee pudding. It's like sticky toffee pudding with salted caramel is where we ended up there. I think that's, yeah, really, I think rather a delight with both of them. They're both 65 quid on the shelf, 58.50 to club members with that price. So I think they're both kind of bangers of drams, good strength, good wood, good spirit. So yeah, enjoy them. I'll enjoy this and enjoy a walk home, and we shall see you in August. Sanj.